בראשית ברא אלוהים את השמיים ואת הארץ. בראשית ברא אלוהים את השמיים ואת הארץ, והארץ הייתה תוהו ובוהו וחושך על פני תהום, והארץ הייתה תוהו ובוהו וחושך על פני תהום, ורוח אלוהים מרחפת על פני המים, ורוח אלוהים מרחפת על פני המים. השמיים ואת הארץ. בראשית ברא אלוהים את השמיים ואת הארץ, והארץ הייתה תוהו ובוהו וחושך על פני תהום, והארץ הייתה תוהו ובוהו וחושך על פני תהום, ורוח אלוהים מרחפת על פני המים, ורוח אלוהים מרחפת על פני המים. Try singing along with us.
Shabbat Shalom, good evening. Lovely to see you all here in our sanctuary in Northwood, or for wherever you're joining us from, whether that is just around the corner in Northwood or in Grenoble or from NL. Oh, now I need to know my American states, I think, right? Or Netherlands? Netherlands. We're thinking from the Netherlands. So it's wonderful to come together. We are on page 88 of our prayer book for evening service number 5. And could I please ask you to stand? Ha'am ha'holchim b'choshech ra'u or gadol. The people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. In the past week, some have known sorrow or disappointment, and for some the future looks far from bright. Let this Sabbath be an oasis of quietness. To the lonely may it bring companionship, to the sorrowing comfort, to the dispirited courage, to all of us peace of mind and hope for the future. And so we light our Shabbat candles. We light 2 sets of candles, one for us and one for Karina Ariev, one of the hostages still being held in Gaza. Amen. Please be seated.
There are days when we seek material things and measure failure by what we do not own.
On the Sabbath, we wish not to acquire, but to share.
There are days when we exploit nature with reckless greed.
On the Sabbath, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation.
There are days when we think only of ourselves.
On the Sabbath, we open our hearts to the needs and rights of others. L'Adonai ולזמר לשמך עליון, להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון בחינו, כי שימחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידיך העליל, מה גדול מעשיך, אדוני מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך, צדיק אתה יברא, כארץ בלבנון יזכה, שתולים בבית אדוני בחצרות אלוהינו יפריחו, עוד ינובון בשיבה, דשנים ובעללים יהיו להגיד, כי ישר אדוני צורי ולא עוולתה בו.
The Eternal One reigns in grandeur
Robed and girded with strength,
The world stands firm.
it shall not be moved,
Your throne is established from old.
for you are everlasting.
The oceans roar, eternal God. The thundering oceans roar.
The thundering oceans rage.
Yet greater than the roaring waves, mightier than the breaking seas,
You stand supreme on high.
sure are the proofs of your power, O God.
And holiness adorns your house forever.
Dili Katala, Pelei Shabbat Nekabela, Lechado Dili Katala, Pelei Shabbat Nekabela, Lechado Dili Katala, Pelei Shabbat Nekabela, Lechado Dili Katala, Pelei Shabbat לקבלה, שמעו וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשמו תפארת ולתהילה, לך אדוני,
לך דודי לקראת כלה,
בליל שבת
קבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בליל שבת לקבלה,
לקראת
שבת לכו וללכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, וראש מקדם לסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בליל שבת לקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בליל שבת לקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, 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 שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בליל שבת לקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בליל שבת לקבלה.
בואי בשלום
עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תורם בולי ים סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בליל שבת לקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בליל שבת לקבלה. Would you please rise? Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Praise the one to whom our praise is due. We praise the Eternal One, to whom our praise is due forever. Please be seated. And we continue together on the top of page 93. We praise you, Eternal One, our God, Sovereign of the universe, whose word brings on the evening, whose wisdom opens heaven's gates, whose understanding changes times and seasons, and whose will sets the stars in their courses in the sky. You make day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light. You make day pass and bring on a night, and separate day from night. You rule the hosts of heaven. We praise you, O God, whose word makes evening fall. Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amecha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta, Al kein Adonai, Eloheinu b'shorbeinu nasiach b'chulkecha v'nizmach b'divrei toratecha ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו לאורך ימינו, והם נגי יומם ולילה, נגי יום ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסור ממנו, אל תסור ממנו, לעולמים, לעולמים, לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. Would you please rise?
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai, Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam, Leolam, Vaed.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai, Echad.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך
בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לעוד על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
למען
תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. You may be seated. All this we hold to be true and sure. You alone, Eternal One, are our God, and we are Israel, your people. You have freed us from oppressors and delivered us from tyrants. You led us out of Egypt forever to serve you in freedom. When we witnessed your power, we praised your name and gave thanks. Willingly we accepted your rule, then full of joy, we sang together. מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלף, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Grant, eternal God, that we may lie down in peace, and let us rise up to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your wise counsel, and for your name's sake be our help. Shield us from sickness and war, from famine and distress, and keep us from wrongdoing. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, for you are our guardian and our deliverer. A gracious and merciful God, guard our going out and our coming in, that now and always we may have life and peace. We praise you, O God.
May your sheltering peace descend on us and all who dwell on earth.
We're on page 97. Please stand up if you can. Adonai
שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. אדוני שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך.
ברוך אתה אדוני
אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק, אלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומר חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מזריח השמש ומוריד הטל. מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים. מקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה,
ונאמן אתה להחיות
מתים.
ברוך
אתה אדוני מחיי המתים.
קדוש אתה ונורא שמך, ואין לנו אלוה מבלעדיך. ברוך אתה אדוני,
האל הקדוש. May be seated. את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדורותם ברית עולם, ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. We continue together on page 100. Our God and God of our ancestors, may our rest on this day be pleasing in your sight. Sanctify us by your commandments and make us loyal to your teaching. Satisfy us with your goodness, gladden us with your salvation, and purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, Eternal One, let the holiness of your Sabbath enter our hearts, and may all Israel who hallow your name be exalted by its peace. We praise you, O God, for the holiness of the Sabbath. Chetzeh Adonai Eloheinu, Barucha Yisrael, Utfilatam be'ahava tekabel, Utehi leratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otecha levadecha b'yirah na'avod. Modim anachnu lach, she'ata hu Adonai Eloheinu v'elahei avotenu le'olam va'ed. Tzur chayenu magen yishenu, ata hu ledor vador. נודה לך ונספר תהילתך על חיינו המסורים בידיך, ועל נשמותינו הפקודות לך, ועל ניסיך שבכל יום עמנו, ועל נפלותיך וטובותיך שבכל עת ערב ובוקר וצהריים. ברוך אתה אדוני, הטוב שמך ולך נאה להודות.
Supreme source of peace, grant true and lasting peace to your people Israel, for it is good in your sight that your people Israel and all peoples may be blessed at all times with your gift of peace.
We praise you, O God, the source of peace. We'll take a few moments for silent prayer. mouths and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable to you, O God, our rock and our Redeemer.
Shalom Birmama, Uyase Shalom,
Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol bnei Adam.
Tomorrow we will read Parashat Tazria, where we read about 2 cases of impurity of the body, the postpartum woman and the person with skin disease. In both cases, these people are separated from their regular lives and from the rest of the community until their abnormal state has passed and the Kohen welcomes them back to community with special rituals. With this text, we recognize the liminal states, the outside of the norm experiences. We understand that the healing time is important to the process of coming back to community and to holiness. When I was younger, I could only see the ugliness and the sexism of Parashat Tazria. The idea that giving birth was something that caused the woman to become infectiously impure, especially if the baby was a girl, causing twice the time of impurity, seemed to me unholy. The subsequent verses that talk about Sarat, the strange disease that can affect body, clothes, and home, made the parasha even more unattractive. Rabbi Dr. Rachel Adler teaches that Tumah, being impure, is the result of our confrontation with the fact of our own mortality. It is the going down into darkness. Tahara is the result of our reaffirmation of our own immortality. It is the re-entry into light. Tumah is devil or frightening only when there is no future life. Otherwise, Tumah is simply part of the human cycle. To be tameh is not wrong or bad. Often it is necessary and sometimes it's mandatory. Women have this inexplicable connection with the cycles of time. Over and over, time begins to count differently, and our bodies invite us to learn to deal with it once again. From childhood to puberty, and then to adulthood, for some to childbirth, and then to menopause. Different moons and different bodies. For each cycle, for each pregnancy, we step outside the community. We heal, and then we come back to holiness. Today, after 3 pregnancies and a bit more of life experience, I can see the wisdom of the text. When a woman gives birth to a child, part of her dies, and a new part of her is born. She becomes a different person. The world becomes a different place for her. Time is really important for a new mother to reconnect to herself, to her times, to her body, and to her soul. This time that she is left alone with herself, tameh, is important for her, for the baby, and for the family. Parashat Tazria is an invitation to think about life-changing events that affect your body and your soul, about the need of being apart to heal, to get to know the new person that one has become after being affected, after being tameh. Parashat Tazria is about taking time to become holy again. This week, Parashat Tazria inspired me in poetry for the first time in English, so I'm sorry. And here it goes. Moon, blood, body, and soul. My womanly body is not mine. It belongs to the moon, dictating cycles, changing my mood, flooding my days. It belongs to the child, who changed my body, performing miracles, making me impure, flooding my days. It belongs to the seasons, hot and rain, uncertain, unreliable, changing my body, changing my mood, flooding my days. It will belong to the earth, maybe to the uncontained space of memory and love, dissolving my body in the flood of the days. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you so much for sharing your poetry with us in English. It's good because my Portuguese is really terrible. And I wouldn't have been able to enjoy it if you'd written it in Portuguese. So it's such a pleasure to have you with us here. For those who don't have the text, student Rabbi Andrea Kulikovsky. So we come to our concluding prayers on page 520. I invite you to rise once you found your page. 520, Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, אשר שם חלקנו לייחד את שמו, וגורלנו להמליך מלכותו.
אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש, הקדוש, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת עוזו בגובהי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד.
והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. Life is finite. Like a candle, it burns, it glows. It is radiant with warmth and beauty. Then it fades, its substance is consumed, and it is no more. Yet we do not despair, for we know that we are more than a flickering flame. With our lives we give life. Something of us can never die. We move in the eternal cycle of darkness and light, of death and life. On the Shabbat, we think of those whose yahrzeit falls at this time. We think of Philip Measure, the father of Lorna Mablin and Barry Measure, grandfather of Katie Bain and Gemma. We think of Mary Morrish, the mother of Gaynor Kylie's, grandmother of Lauren and Alana. Pearl Ekowitz, the mother of Sharon Downs, grandmother of Anton Black and Natasha Downs. Harold Craig, the father of Debbie. Albert Benny Blind, the brother of Renee Simmons. Galila Newman, the mother of Iris and Ronnie. Theodore Haser, grandfather of Jutta Haser-Schultz. And we are also remembering Alfred Ricks, the father of Hilary Rose, grandfather of Alison Dollo, and great-grandfather of Tom, James, and Sky. Zichronam livracha, may their memory be a source of blessing, as we recite together the words of Kaddish on page 524. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabba, be'alma divrach hirotei v'yamlich malchotei, b'chayachon v'yomachon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, b'agala v'zman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevorach le'alam u'lalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitchumam v'yitnaseh, Vitadal, Vitale, Vitalal, Shmei de Kudesha, Bricho. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל בני אדם ואמרו אמן. May great peace descend from heaven, and abundant life be granted to us, to all Israel, to all those who mourn, and let us say, Amen. May you all be seated. The sun has suddenly come out for the weekend, so I do hope that you have wonderful plans to just enjoy yourself outside on Shabbat afternoon. But if you happen to be somewhere with an internet connection at 5 p.m. and want to join us for Havdalah, then we are meeting for Havdalah as every week. This Shabbat, we will have an opportunity to listen to Rabbi Oded Mazor of the congregation Kol HaNeshama in Jerusalem, and we'll be sharing his words that he spoke at the convention of the Central Conference of American Rabbis a couple of weeks ago. We were thinking about kind of sharing it with you beforehand, but it kind of didn't fit in. So the words are unfortunately ever as relevant, or fortunately. But so do join us to listen to Oded and to just enjoy a little bit of community on a Saturday late afternoon. So that's at 5 p.m. Our Seder, I've been on holiday for a week, so I don't know exactly where we are with Seder bookings, but it was looking very sold out. Our communal Seder. That doesn't mean that if you don't yet have a place for a Seder that you can't still book. But I do ask you very, very kindly to try to book by Tuesday, because that's when we need to let the caterer know numbers for food. So if you are still hoping to come to our communal Seder, that's on the second night Seder, on Tuesday night. Please book by Tuesday so that we can feed you. We will definitely always find a space for you, but the caterer does want to know the numbers. And then on Saturday, the 27th of April, I'm going to do this. It's a bit easier than trying to read it from under the table. 27th of April, 7:30 p.m., we are looking forward to an evening with jazz as we welcome our very own duo Flame. Well, they're not really our very own, but the two who are Flame are our own members, Erwin and Gaynor Kayleys, who will be here playing. Please try to book so that we can plan ahead and know how much space we have. It should be a lovely evening together with some jazz music. And other than that, join us tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Student Rabbi Andrea will be back. Our wonderful choir will be back. Big thank you to everyone singing, also the congregation who's joined in. And we are going to conclude with Adon Olam. Oh, and I should say thank you to Aaron Lyons, who's sitting in the booth. And may every young person who's on vacation from university use it so wisely as to come to shul to enable all of us to enjoy live streaming.
Amen.
Amen, indeed. And sorry to the choir for barging in. So, Adon Olam on page 525. Adon Olam Hashem Allah B'terem kol yetzir nivra ליד נשא וחפצו כל אזוי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לידו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה אחד ואין שני להמשילו להכבירה בראשית תכלית ולא העוז והמזרח. והוא אלי וחי גואלי וצור חבלי בעת צרה. והוא ניסי ומעלוס לי מנת כוסי ביום אקרא. בידו הפקיד רוחי ותישן והעירה. ואם רוחי גבייתי אדוני לי ולא יירא. Would you please rise for a final blessing? מי ששיקן את שמו בבית הזה, הוא ישכין ביניכם אהבה ואחווה ושלום ורעות. May the one whose presence dwells in this house cause love and harmony, peace and friendship to dwell among us. And let us say, Amen. Shabbat na'or. Bo yiten Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom. Amen. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat
Welcome
shalom.
to all those in the Kiddush Zoom room. Lovely to see you, Ellie and Paul and Nova and Alison and Pip and Carla and David. I think I can see. Wonderful to have you with us. We are going to move to the Azoria Hall for Kiddush, so hopefully we'll be with you in just a second as we connect the device there. So I'll see you in a moment. Lovely to see you all. Shabbat shalom.